I think the number one reason why a lot of new entrepreneurs don't make it is because at some point they stop believing it's possible. So when you don't believe it's possible, you don't do the work. You get to speak that life into other people. And I can't imagine doing anything else. It's fun.
I am super excited to have my good friend Jordan Adler on the Bring On Success radio program today. I've known Jordan since 2009, and back in 2009, I was introduced to Jordan. If you go deeper into these podcasts here on Bring On Success, you will find one. It was actually a radio broadcast. It goes back to 2009, and we're talking about send out cards. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that again today. Send Out Cards is a fantastic program. Jordan, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Jim. It's great. It was great to run into you at the event and spend a little time together.
Yeah, it's great to get reunited. You're a great guy. You do great things. You really have what I consider a dream job. You get to go out there, shake hands, kiss babies, help people build relationships, build business, all while you're building your business, and it gives you a lot of freedom as well.
Yeah. People ask me all the time, why do I keep working? And the truth is, I love what I do. I get to speak opportunity into other people's lives. I see myself as a dream broker. So I help people expand their dreams and then give them a vehicle that can help them get there. And then also provide them with resources that can help them get there, help them to believe in themselves. And I think the number one reason why a lot of new entrepreneurs don't make it is because at some point they stop believing it's possible. So when you don't believe it's possible, you don't do the work. So sure. I get to speak that life into other people, and I can't imagine doing anything else. It's fun.
Yeah. So when people look at you, they only see success, but behind a successful person can be a disaster. Now, I'm not saying you had a disastrous life. I'm just saying that people go, oh my gosh, that guy's a success. He's an overnight success. Well, probably not. He's probably put a lot of time and effort into it. And as we become seasoned, we mature through life, we become better and better. You have really done well in network marketing. You've done well to help others, and those people help others below them and help others below them. And of course, they're helping you, and you lead a huge team. Send Out Cards. The last time we did an interview, we were talking about Send Out Cards, and you're still a top producer, or the top producer, I would imagine, at Send Out Cards. Talk a little bit about where you are with that first, and then also what Send Out Cards is and how you can help other people help other people.
Absolutely. So my story, I'm going to go back even further briefly. I picked up a book at a garage sale for $0.25 back in the early 80s, when I was in my 20s. And the book was the first exposure that I'd ever had to residual income and leverage. And I made a decision when I was really young. It took me many years before I got my first check. I made a decision when I was young that I wanted to align myself with financial vehicles that paid you work one time, get paid hundreds of times. I just saw that as a ticket to freedom. There's a lot of ways you can create that leverage. And one of the ways is to invest a bunch of money. Well, I didn't have any money. My job was paying me $14,000 a year at the time. And so I got a company, and I'm going to really shorten the story in the interest of time, but I got involved in a company. It was my 12th company in 1992. And this is after not making a penny, not one single penny in network marketing. On my 11th year, my 12th company, I finally hit a home run, and I was with that company for 13 years. I made millions of dollars with that company. I moved out of the enclosed garage, got a nicer vehicle, got a home up in the mountains, started traveling around on private jets and all that. That was a life that was a dream life for me that I couldn't ever, in a million years, ever even have imagined it. And then that company went away, and that was 17 years ago. And I joined a new company, and I just want to share some numbers. In the company that I'm with now, I've given just over 5,000 presentations in 17 years.
Wow.
And that sounds like a lot, but it comes out to about one presentation a day. If you were to figure it out, it's about one presentation a day. In fact, if I had a job that paid me $100,000 a year, for example, and I only did one presentation a day, they'd fire me. And out of those 5,000, 600 of them joined me. So the majority, the 90% plus of the people that I showed the business to weren't interested, or they were interested, but they never pulled the trigger. And so 600 of the one out of nine. So I got eight no's for every one yes. And then from that have come over 600,000 affiliates and over 1 million customers.
Wow.
Over a period of 17 years. So our program allows somebody to send physical photographic cards, postcards or greeting cards in the mail, first class mail, from an app on your phone or from your computer. So it's great for saying thank you. It's great for saying nice to meet you. It makes a huge difference. You can also send gifts and gift cards, and you do that from an app on your phone. These are not e-cards. These actually go in the mail. You hit the send button on your phone, and the next day a photographic card is in the mail. We have a program. It's $97 a month. You can send unlimited cards like this anywhere in the world. And I do. I mean, it takes 45 seconds to send a card, and I send cards like this all over the place. This happens to be my 6th grade teacher. We've known each other. He's 84 years old. We've known each other since I graduated from 6th grade, came to Vegas, and I captured this picture on the phone, and I sent him that card, and I sent one to myself as well. This is a fun program. It's something that helps to get a lot more repeat business. It's great for customer retention. It's great for just goodwill in general, and leaves a lasting impression. And you can own the real estate on someone's refrigerator when you send them cards like this, because this goes on the refrigerator. So that's what I've been doing for the past 18 years now, and it's a lot of fun, and it makes a difference in people's lives, and it's something that every business owner should be using, I think.
I've used it in my business. I'm very familiar with send out cards. I know a lot of people who are in the organization. You know, a lot of people at first say, who sends out postcards or greeting cards anymore? Pen pals are over. Yeah, but you know what? What's old is new again, and where everyone else isn't, you should be. So if people aren't doing certain things, I suggest you consider being there, because if 99% of the people are going right, you might want to go left, because they left a huge void over there, right? And also, cards are great.
Yeah, Jim, another thing too is we're the largest customer of the U.S. Post Office. You know, we send 50 to 100,000 cards a day. In a market where everybody says nobody's sending cards anymore, we're the largest customer of the U.S. Post Office. You know, 191 million cards sent. We've paid out over $200 million in commissions, and I feel like we're just getting started. There are millions of people today that do online marketing that are, you know, sending out emails, and emails just aren't getting opened the way they used to. You know, they went from 80% open rate down to under 15% open rate. But when you send somebody a card in the mail, they see it. They open it 100%.
No, you're 100% right. Jordan, when I speak to small business owners, and a lot of them are actually in the home service space, but it doesn't matter what you do as a self-employed person or a small business owner. If you're trying to grow your business and trying to get new business, maybe you call them leads. I don't like leads. I like referrals. But in any case, maybe you call them a lead. Why would you be spending your resources where everybody else is? You're now competing with everybody. And what's interesting, Jordan, and I think it's easy for me and maybe for you too, because I'm a marketing guy. And I look at what people are doing, and they're doing nothing different than their neighbor. And I'm like, well, wait a second. If you're an HVAC company, why are you marketing the exact same way as everybody else? And they're like, well, that's what we do in HVAC. Oh, okay. I get it. You know, you've got to think outside the box. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. But do things differently. It's so easy to stand apart. The post office still delivers, I think, everywhere in our country, 6 days a week. I know they come to my home 6 days.
All over the world. Yeah.
6 days a week. Even if they only came 3 days a week, you're still going to get your mail. It's really nice when you look through your mailbox or you're going through your mail and you can actually pull something out that's for you and not for the household. What's in there sometimes is considered junk mail. if you're an HVAC company or a plumbing company, or you're an attorney, or you're a realtor, don't send out that generic card that goes out to the entire neighborhood. Pick some people. Now, it takes time, and it is a little more money per drop, but the drop's going to be way better in results, because when you put their name and their picture or the picture of their home on that card, it's going to stand out. And as Jordan said, it'll be on the refrigerator.
Well, yeah, people put the things that they love the most on their social media, on their Facebook and on their Instagram. They put their pets, they put grandma turns 100, they put their trip to Disney World. And they don't have those physical pictures. They don't have them on the refrigerator. They don't have them on their nightstand. So when you grab that and save it on your phone, drop it on a card and type in a personal message and hit send, they get that in the mail. That ends up on the refrigerator, on the nightstand, or on their fireplace mantle. So it's a big deal. Let me share one more thing that's really powerful, because we do have gifts in there. I gave some advice to a very close friend who he's on a lot of the major news networks. He's a police officer, and he's a kind of an expert commentator. And there's a guy that he wants to get on this guy's show. And I asked him, does the guy smoke cigars? And he says, I think he does. And he researched it, and it turned out he does. I said, there's a cigar. It's a gold leaf cigar. It's $350. It's an expensive cigar. It's one of a kind. You can't get them anywhere else. Get one of those cigars. They're packaged up beautifully, and mail it to him.
Yep.
You want to be on his show. He knows who you are. Mail him something really special that's going to stand out. And the reason I'm on Howard's stage, and the reason I'm on Laurel Langmeyer's stage and so many others, is because I do things that are way out of the box, that make them notice me, and also says to them, Jordan treats me as somebody extra special. And everybody wants to be treated as someone extra special. So, and that's one of the reasons why I love what we do, is because I can make somebody feel extra special, such that they remember me, they know me, and they want to open their community to me. And that's what we all want.
We're still human. The technology has changed. So we live longer because of technology. We live better. We've got air conditioning and safer cars and so forth because of technology. But inside of us, especially up here in our heads and in our hearts, we're emotional people, and we still have needs. We get upset when people upset us, and we're also willing to give to people if they show love to us.
Right.
And I know this sounds kind of way out there, but be fair with yourself, everybody. Think about it. Don't you want to be treated well? Don't you get excited when someone says, here's a gift for you? Ooh,
yeah.
For me? Yes. And that gift has your name on it. It might even have your picture on it. So you know it's for you. You aren't going to forget that person.
Right.
Jordan understands, and I understand this too. If you want to get something from someone else, care for them. Show them that you care. And it's very hard for them not to care back. If they don't, then they're probably psychotic, and that's okay. You don't want to do business with them anyway, right? But people will open up, and it's really the best way to get into that television program, to get into that prospect, to get the sale, because you've done something no one else has done. Even if you're looking for a job, all right, maybe do something different. Years ago, you would send a cover letter and a resume. Then after the interview, you would send them a thank you letter or maybe a note. Well, now maybe you should send them a gift, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they won't forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's so few people do it that when you do it, in fact, I learned a lesson, because I know 3 billionaires, people that I consider to be my friends. And what's really interesting is all 3 of them and their wives, family, it's Richard Branson and Kenny Trout and Joe Mitchell and their wives. Whenever I would be with them, they would always have a gift for me.
Mm.
And I learned that like that not everybody does that. That's a very rare thing. And so whenever I'm going to visit somebody a lot, you had a gift for me, yeah. Jim. You gave me that little book. Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah.
That is a big deal. Check this out. Jim saw something that I put. This is like something that nobody does. And he noticed something, and it was kind of a funny thing that I posted on social media. He noticed it. He picked up the candy that I posted on social media, and he gave it to me at the event, because I was complaining about the small size of a bag of M&Ms. And he actually brought that, without letting me know, brought that to the event, took it out of his suit pocket and handed it to me. And that made me go, you know what? This is a guy that's really paying attention. That made a huge difference. It made me remember Jim, because if we don't, it's like if you only meet somebody one time, the chances of you're going to remember them in a couple of years is pretty slim. So what are you going to do to create a lifetime relationship that could turn into a lifetime customer?
Exactly. Yeah. How are you going to stand out? And it's all about standing out. Plus, I really do like to do things for people. And if I can do something for someone, because I knew you liked M&Ms, I was pretty sure you did, but you were upset that there was only the mini size. And I said, well, I'm going to bring Jordan the large size. I believe he likes M&Ms, so I can give him a gift he actually likes instead of it's a gift that I like and he may not.
And I ended up eating 2 big bags because you gave me 2 bags over 2 days. I'm like, come on.
That's right. So now I've got to think of something else to get you next time. The M&M thing has worn off. All right. So send out cards is fantastic. What's the best way for people to either reach you or someone in your organization in case they want to get involved in this so they can help themselves and their customers?
Follow me on Instagram. I'm Beach Money Jordan on Instagram. My book is Beach Money. So go to Beach Money Jordan on Instagram. And then my link is in the bio. And all my links are up in the bio.
Terrific. All right, let's talk about one of your good friends who is going to get you into a different orbit.
Yeah.
He's gonna take you to outer space. Sir Richard Branson, a good friend of yours. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so I was at many years ago, I wrote a goal in a journal. And I knew when I wrote it, I was in my 40s, I wrote it, and I knew when I wrote it, it would never happen. I wrote space traveler as a goal in a journal. Back then, they weren't talking about civilian space travel. Well, years later, I was at an event in Salt Lake City. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm downstairs by myself in front of the Starbucks in this Marriott, and this woman walks over. She introduces herself. Her name's Carolyn Ferguson, short red hair. She's from England. And she said she was a travel agent. And I know the travel business has been rough over the past few years because of the internet. And she goes, oh no, I just had my best year in 21 years. I go, really? What do you do? She said, I book space. And I'm like, space? And I'm thinking space in hotel room, space on cruise ships. She points up and says, no, space. And she goes, I'm selling tickets on Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic civilian space program. And then she proceeded to tell me, you'll go 2,400 miles an hour, 3 times the speed of sound. You'll get to experience weightlessness. You'll go 100 miles in 2.5 minutes. And she explains it to me. And then I didn't tell her about my goal because I wanted to find the journal. I actually went through my storage here at my home in Jerome and found a box with old journals and started going through and found the journal where I wrote this goal. And I didn't believe it when I wrote it. And then she contacted me a month later and said, Virgin Galactic's going to be in Vegas. Do you want to meet with them? And so I met with Virgin Galactic. Long story short, at the age of 57 years old, this was before they even had built a single spacecraft. I wired $250,000 to Richard's office and got on the list to go to space. And since then, I've had many hours with Richard at his home on Necker Island, on the boat, in the hot tub, playing chess. I've met with him at events. I was there when he launched into space to go as one of the test flights to space. Elon Musk was there. That was at his spaceport in Las Cruces. So that one decision really changed the trajectory of my life. And I haven't gone yet, but we're supposed to get our dates at the end of this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. What a great way to see what it's like in space for a short period of time. But it's a unique experience, which is going to make you a unique human being in your lifetime. I say your lifetime because we don't know what the future is going to bring. But in your lifetime, it's going to be unique. Just
being able to tell the story from the stage was worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the access to billionaires. Yeah.
Access to billionaires and multi-millionaires from all different walks of life,
When you first told me that story, I'm thinking, this guy's a smart guy. Okay. Most people aren't going to pony up that much money, but you get so much out of it. Even if, God forbid, it was scrubbed and you never made it to space, the experience on Earth with that investment is well worth it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. I've gotten way more than my money's worth, and I haven't even gone to space yet.
That's fantastic. Want to switch gears a little bit now, kind of going back to building businesses and so forth. Having what you call beach money, some people call it mailbox money. It's a similar thing where it's recurring income, it's residual. You do the job once, and it comes back to you over and over again, and it can also grow on its own organically, even without your help. Back in 2009, I interviewed Jordan on the program. Back then it was beach money. Now it's better than beach money. Tell everybody, what is better than beach money? If beach money's fantastic,
it's so funny because
what's better than beach money?
I was trying to come up with a name for my second book for a year. I could not. I had like 40 names. Some of them were really good. Some of them were not so good. But none of them were exactly right. And then I was sitting around a fire up on Mount Charleston in Nevada with a group of friends. And I was telling them about trying to come up with a title. And one of them says, well, what's the book about? And I said, well, the only thing I can tell you is it's better than beach money. And he goes, better than beach money?
Well,
I go, there's the title right there, better than beach money. So better than beach money is, what is better than beach money? There's so much more. It's not just about the money. It's about the relationships. It's about the experiences. It's about living your dreams. And when you read the book, you're left with, this is a life, we all have our own specific, unique dreams. And most people, what they've done is at some point in their life, usually pretty early, we give up on our dreams and we start shrinking our lifestyle down to meet our income. And then we just accept that and start making excuses for the life that we've got instead of being creative and resourceful and expanding our income to meet our dreams. We all have dreams when we're younger. Somewhere in our 20s or early 30s, we start having little emergencies that cause us to dig into our bank accounts to handle the situations that come up in our lives. And we start giving up. And I learned early, thank God, I learned very early. And you don't have to wait. It doesn't matter what age you are. I've got a friend that started when he was in his 70s that has done very well. I was very lucky in that I adopted the belief that it was possible for me to have a residual income. That's the only type of income that really can give you freedom, whether it's through, vending machines or rental real estate or network marketing, where you've got a product that you offer to others. I like network marketing because there are people out there that are way better than you, and there's people out there that are way better than me. And if I can align them with something that serves them in their community, I can get a cut of everything they create. You can have a cut of, if you bring somebody on, recruit somebody that is real strong, you can have a lifetime income from that one relationship as a result of what they do, not for you, but for them. And so it's super powerful. And, if you don't have a lot of money to start a business, you don't have a lot of time to start a business, you can keep your job. And because of the leverage that comes with it, it doesn't cost a lot of money to start. You can start it on a shoestring and build something up that could be quite significant. Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm thinking of the young people out there. And so many people today, especially, not when you and I were young, Jordan, but today, people don't have the same type of career path they used to. No one's loyal. The employee's not loyal. The employer's not loyal. A lot of people working from home, people working from their car, working from the beach or the ski hill, whatever. I mean, everything's changed. It seems like more and more people are doing their own thing now than when I was young. It seems like almost everyone has a little business or self-employed. So this is for the people out there who are young, who can take what I would say a bigger risk than someone who has children and a big house and so forth, because it's harder for them to give that up. If you're in your 20s, maybe even in your early 30s, and you live on your own, how much space do you need? Maybe you can sleep with a buddy and so forth at their place. Maybe you can, work part-time. Yeah, work part-time, as a waiter, maybe get a discount on the food. The point is the time you put in, if you could put in 5 to 10 years in your 20s and 30s, by the time you're 35 or 40, you've built such a foundation. Not only that, the education you're going to get, because when you join a good team, you're going to be educated. You have to be. If you're going to grow, you'll be educated. Then you'll be teaching people, which is even better, because when you teach people, you learn even more. If I could go back in time, I would strongly consider taking the road that Jordan Adler took. I graduated from college and I got a job at a big company, and I did that. I didn't understand the world that you're in. I didn't even know it was possible, because you hear, well, not everyone can do that. And it's true, because you have to commit to it and you have to just do it. But once you get there, and this is true of almost any residual income type business, it could be insurance, it could be real estate. Once you build the book of business, it can become a lot easier to become wealthy. And that doesn't mean, though, you can walk away from it. You have to continually feed it. You have to water it and fertilize it. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
First of all, it's the best education for building a business that you can get anywhere. It's way better than your $100,000 college degree. Like my education growing a business like this, the training I received, the mentorship I received was worth way more than my college education, because it's real life. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you can put in 5 hours a week, don't stop doing anything you're doing now. Just put in 5 hours a week. If you can find one other person that will put in 5 hours a week, you're now benefiting from 10 hours worth of work a week, and you're only putting in 5. If you get a couple more people, or some of your people find some people, you could then benefit from 20 hours worth of work a week or 40 hours worth of work a week, but you're only putting in 5. Imagine getting paid on hundreds or even thousands of hours worth of work a week, and you're only putting in your 5. That's the business model that we've got. And you get an override for word of mouth. You get an override on all the product or services that are sold within your organization. I love that. Now, to answer your question, the business is a networking business, but all businesses are networking businesses. All businesses are about making connections with people. And so when your Rolodex becomes your most valuable asset. And that's what you're doing when you're building a successful network marketing business, is you're building in a Rolodex. Somebody who's really good in sales let's say somebody makes $250,000 a year in sales. If something happens to their company and they have to go somewhere else, they usually go to the top very quickly. Why? Because of the relationships that they built, right?
Yes.
And that's how it is in network. It's the same in network marketing. So it's the care that you take in remembering people, remembering something about them, making them feel special, bringing them value in some ways, and then staying in touch over the long haul. Doing those things consistently over time, you ultimately build a conduit of people that will ultimately purchase and move product for you. That's ultimately what we're doing. We're building a pipeline.
Yes. And the pipeline is not built with a sprint. You can get some sprints, and you can get some, some quick hits, but it's always the marathon. It's true of anything. If you want to do anything in life, learn a new language, get in shape, everything is a marathon. But once you've run the marathon, it's a lot easier to keep going, and it doesn't take as much to keep it running. And
right.
Today, even more so than a few decades ago, Jordan, people want the quick fix. Everything's instantaneous now. Here's the good news, guys. The good news. If you're willing to run the marathon and let all these sprinters just run out of breath and hit trees and fall over, then you have a lot more room. There's less people in your way. Take the time. I'm not saying take your time. Take the time. Because if it takes you a decade with that Rolodex, and if you don't know what a Rolodex is, go to Google and look it up. But basically, it's your database. It's the people you know. It's your contact list. It's your networking list. Take that and build it and build it and build it. And Jordan is right, because when you're older and more seasoned, when you need something, you go through the Rolodex, you pick up the phone. Well, you used to pick up the phone, whatever. You pick up your phone and you message them, whatever, and you'll get what you want. And all that time, you've been sending them cards, gifts, you've been remembering their birthday, special events, and they're going to pick up that phone. Yeah.
And in today's world, the key is you got to have a system. The problem is it's very difficult to do if you don't have a system. We provide that system, very simple system with a CRM that allows you to do that. Because in today's world, we're just moving so fast in so many different directions that if you don't have a system, it doesn't get done. And so that's a real important piece. Yeah, so it's exciting because today there are more opportunities than ever because we're moving so fast. When you're the one that slows things down a bit, you make a stronger connection, and those relationships are gold.
Yes.
I look at what I'm like, some of the things I'm doing today as I'm building I'm building alliances and partnerships with people that have large online marketing communities. So podcasters are an example, but also online business coaches that coach and train people how to take their offline business and bring it online. I'm building relationships in those communities. So I'm doing Zooms with those people. I'm sending them cards and gifts. I'm getting together with them when I can. I'm looking for people that I can connect them to. So I build these alliances with these people. And within a relatively short period of time, they're opening up their stages to me. They're opening up their podcast platforms to me. I don't go in asking for that. I'm going there making a new friend, building those collaborations, and you don't need many of them. I can attribute most of my success to probably in the last 18 years to 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really just creating really strong alliances with the right people.
Yeah, it's so important. Like I said earlier, we're human and we haven't changed that much. We're still emotional beings. We want attention. The number one thing a person loves is their name and their picture, right? Name and picture, right?
Yeah.
So when you go up to someone, don't say, hey, buddy, hey, pal. It's, hey, Jordan, it's good to see you. It can be awkward if they don't remember your name or know your name, but that's okay because they love to hear their name, and they're all of a sudden, like their ears are perked up. Like, this guy knows me. People want to be addressed. Use their name, and even better yet, send them a picture with their name on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't even tell you the number of offices that I've walked in. It's insane. I walk in somebody's office and they've got a picture up on the wall or on their, on their desk. They've got it on a card that I sent them 5 years ago, because I sent them a picture of them and their family that I pulled off social media. And I have one guy that moved 3 times and he had the same card sitting on his desk, all 3 offices, because it was special to him. And he didn't have that picture in the physical form until I sent it to him. And what a gift that you can do that right from your phone and send it in the mail.
So it's a picture of something that's important to you as the recipient. But what's really nice is maybe on the back or the inside, it has your information as the sender, as the giver, which helps brand you, helps remind them of you. They're not going to throw it away because it's theirs. It's customized for them.
Yeah, and you know the story about the Starbucks card and the card that saved me $250 and made me $50,000. So I had a guy that was talking negatively about me on the internet. Yeah. I didn't like that, and so I went to an attorney. Well, I decided I wanted to sleep on it before I sent a letter to him threatening him. And so the next morning I got up and I jumped on my phone and I created this card right here. I put a picture of coffee on the front, and I put some coffee on the inside, and I actually clicked the little button. They put the Starbucks card in there, coffee beans on the back. So I said in the card, Jason, you don't know me. I got his address right off the internet. It was a P.O. box. I said, Jason, you don't know me, but I'd love to buy you coffee. We need to get together and kick some marketing ideas around. Mm-hmm. And he took this card and he photographed it and put it on his website and said, Jordan Adler is the smartest marketer I've ever met.
There you go.
And then we ended up talking. He ultimately joined us. He said, I can market this. And he joined us, and he became our top recruiter for almost like a year and a half, 2 years. He became my top recruiter and literally drove thousands of customers into my organization. And that was a result of me sending a card and a gift card that cost me less than $10 instead of a $250 letter from an attorney.
It's interesting. Powerful. Yeah. As I said, we're human. We're emotional. That struck something with him in his heart and head, right? I mean, he got that, maybe he was expecting a little bit of a fight, and he got that, and he's like,
right.
Well, this guy, Jordan, he's not trying to bully back on me here. He wants to get together. And, it's interesting. Some of my best friends today were adversaries in the schoolyard. I can't tell you how many times I was in a little bit of a fight with a kid like in 4th or 5th grade. And after we fought, we became friends. It's a very similar story.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Yeah. Jim, I want to thank you for inviting me to be part of your show and introducing me to your audience.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it. This has been fantastic. To get a hold of Jordan and to learn more about him, in the description of this podcast is all of his contact information. Besides that, Jordan, how else should they get a hold of you?
go to my Instagram. You can message me through Instagram, and then also you'll see my links in the bio of my Instagram, which is at Beach Money Jordan. At Beach Money Jordan.
Yeah, and check out his books. It will inspire you. There are so many people, Jordan, before we go, there are so many people who would love to live your dream life. I know the life you lead. Mine is similar to that. I've designed it where I am not a slave to a job. It's important for me to have flexibility and to live my dream by helping others. We saw each other not long ago in the Houston area. We both had time to get up on stage and speak.
Yeah.
Most people don't have time to get away from their job to do that. It's nice to be able to do that type of thing. If you think it's for someone else, it is. You have to stop thinking that, right? What did Henry Ford said? If you think you can't, you're right.
Right.
Meaning that you have to be positive. You've got to look into this. So, and Jordan would be a great person to study. So thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks. Bye, everybody. I appreciate your attention today. Thank you.